All right. So this is how I started in audiobooks in my writing career. So for those who don't know me, Armand Rosamilia, welcome. This will be my 15th year of being able to be a full-time author. I've been in this business 35 or more years. 1988, I had my first release. So 38 years. Wow, 38 years ago, my first book, or my first short story, I should say, was released. That's a long time. I'm old. I'm probably older than most people watching this video, just in terms of how many years I've been publishing is probably older than you. Anyway, we're going to talk about audiobooks today. So, but my first thing, my first caveat, as if that's a word, is that I don't listen to audiobooks. I never have. Um, for me, it's weird. I don't I don't even know what it is. Like I'm listening to, and I'm like I'm not paying attention. For some reason, when I listen to audiobooks, I'm like, I would have changed that line. I would have done this. Well, I didn't like the way that chapter ended. I don't do that when I'm reading a book. I don't. If I'm looking at a print book or an ebook, I don't ever look at it and go, "Yeah, I would change that." I just read it and enjoy it. For some reason, I can't enjoy audiobooks. I remember one trip I was taking with my wife. I believe we were heading up to Atlanta, which is about a five and a half hour trip. Uh, she has properties up there that she manages, and I went with her. And she's like, I want to listen to this audio. Let's listen to this audiobook. I'm like, all right. And she asked me a question about it, like between chapters. I'm like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think I heard a word of that. My mind was just somewhere else. So it's not something that I even enjoy doing it. And I know that's a crappy thing to say, but I just don't download words into my brain that way. Now my wife loves audiobooks. She literally only will listen to an audiobook. And so she has certain authors she cannot wait for that their new book drops and she is there. So if you are an author and you're like, "Hey, I got an audiobook out." Congratulations. I'm not going to listen to it. I'll read the book, I'll read the ebook. I don't really care print or ebook either way. I'm there. That being said, many years ago, I did a couple three um, audiobooks, and back before it was really as big as it is now, I guess. And I had a couple of false starts with a couple of my books. I had narrators that never finished. I had not a lot of narrators to choose from back in the day. And so for me, it was trying to find the right voice for the right book and all that. And again, when I'm not listening to audiobooks, I didn't know. So I remember on several occasions I said to my wife, here's three samples people have sent me. Uh, which narrator do you like best? Which is crazy, but it is what it is. So I have currently, as I'm doing this video, I have 71 audiobooks. Okay. Now it's not just me self-publishing stuff. There's also publishers that have put my stuff onto audiobooks. And there are a few things that are out of print now. So right now you can get, it says 71 on the Audible list. I will put a link to my audiobooks in the description so you can check it out. So according to this, if I sort them by old to new, Dying Days, my first zombie book, was the first thing that was released. It's a 2-hour, 27-minute release, so it's not very long. and it's also cheaper priced than your normal $15 or $20, whatever. This was released on 6/5/2012. So almost 14 years ago, this first one was released. Just crazy. It's got 3.4 average, 74 ratings. I don't know. I released, looks like that was the only book I released in 2012. 2013, I released Skulls and Bones. So the Dying Days was the narrator was Amanda M. Lehman, and I actually grew up with her. We grew up across the street from one another, and at that time she was like, I'm getting into narration and audiobooks," and I'm like, why don't you do my Dying Days books? So that's what she did. Skulls and Bones was a short story collection that is currently out of print, except for the audiobook, and Jack DeGolia did it. Jack DeGolia is a name that's going to come up about 1,000,000 times on this, because Jack is like my main man, Jack DeGolia. He is a phenomenal narrator, and he's done all of my major series. So we started with Skulls and Bones, which you can still get. That was it for 2013. I mean, according to this list. 2014, I released several more things, including the Flagler Beach fiction series. I don't know if all of them were released then, but it is Jack DeGolia doing those as well. So I put out Darlene Bobbich, Zombie Killer, which is another 2.5-hour quick listen, which is on sale. Now, so this Darlene Bobbich Zombie Killer was the first book I wrote before the Dying Days zombie series. And the print and ebook versions of the first Dying Days book is Darlene Bobbich's Zombie Killer, this book, and the first book combined into a longer book. So this standalone by itself is no longer available except in audiobook. Golden Lion Cafe by Jack DeGolia came out that year. I had Mike Chadwick did Keyport Cthulhu, J&J Fitness, Flagler Fish Company, both by Jack DeGolia. Amanda did Dying Days 2. Jack did Nerds, Comics, and More. Jack Wallen, who does a lot of my covers now. So my covers for Dying Days, all those covers for the First Coast Thrillers, for all of my Dirty Deeds books, a lot of other stuff. Jack Wallen does the covers for them. He's also a writer, and he also is a narrator, and he did Highway to Hell for me. That's the original version, by the way. It's a little risque. It's a little dirty. So it's got all of the things in it. Dying Days 3 came out in 2014. Amanda did that one. I don't even know if I want to talk about this one. There's a series called State of Horror. And I don't want to say anything negative about it, but don't listen to that. Dying Days Origins came out in 2015. Jack Wallen did the narration for that. Jack DeGolia did the 6-book Change Jar books for the Flagler Beach fiction series. Amanda did Dying Days 4, which funny about the Dying Days original 4 books is they have the original covers on them. So it's not the Jack Wallen covers, it's the original covers that were done. Which I guess I could go in and change them, but I kind of like those old covers on them. I mean, literally those books are 11 audiobooks are 11 years old now, so why even change them? Also in 2015, Jack DeGolia did Bahama Mamas. That was book 7 in that series. 2016, we get into United States of Apocalypse, which was put out by Devil Dog Press, and it's a post-apocalyptic book that me and Mark Tufo, we both wrote. He wrote his character, I wrote my character. It's a trilogy. We got a nice advance on that one, and Sean Renette and does Mark's part, and Julia Whalen does my part. And that was released in 2016 as well. The Enemy Held Near, also put out by Devil Dog Press. Jack Wallen narrated that, and that's me and Jay Wilburn, the late great Jay Wilburn. Wish we could. I wish we could. Wish we still had Jay. All right. Then in 2016, Chelsea Avenue, the first of that, again, Jack Wallen doing the narration. I didn't remember Jack Wallen did so many of these books. The fifth, Dying Days, came out, Amanda Lehman. That was in January of 2017. In 2017, Jack DeGolia started the Dirty Deeds series. And he did all 12 books. That came out in 2017. 2018, Dirty Deeds 2 came out. John Carter Amon. I know I'm saying your name wrong, dude. I'm sorry. In 2018, Belford Stories and Belford Stories 2, he did those. And he did Belford Stories 3 that year. Jack DeGolia did Dirty Deeds 3 that year. Amanda did Dying Days 6 that year. I did a zombie young adult novel, Dying Days Family Ties, and Michael Goodrick did that. That was in 2019. Also in 2019, A View from My Seat, my nonfiction book about baseball. Roland Purdy did that one. That was fun. John Carter did the Belford Stories 4 book. Mike Chadwick did the second Keyport Cthulhu book. And then The Beast was done, that came out from Severed Press. And Nicholas Newell did the narration on that one. The Hidden Truth by me and Jay Wilburn was put out by Crossroad Press. And Josh Brogeder did the narration on that book. That was in those two were in 2020. Also in 2020 was Dirty Deeds 4, Dirty Deeds 5, Dirty Deeds 6, Dirty Deeds 7, Dirty Deeds 8, all by Jack DeGolia. They came out he pretty much just did them back to back to back to back. Now for Dying Days 7, Amanda was unavailable, and I wanted the last 3 books out. So Karen Satter did this book. It only has 2 ratings, and it's only a 2. That's not good. Also in 2020, Frozen in Ice, Severed Press put that book out. And Ben Coachella did the narration on that. Karen Satter, she did Dying Days 8. 4.3 with only 3 ratings on that one. The Sea Was Angry, James R. Cheatham narrated that, and it is a Severed Press book. A lot of people like that book. Only had 4 ratings, though. Me and Mark put out United States Apocalypse 2. Sean Renette, who does all of Mark's zombie Fallout books, was back, and Elizabeth Evans did the Darlene part on that one. That was in 2021. 2021, Dirty Deeds 9 came out. Jack DeGolia, of course. Now, Keyport Cthulhu 3 came out, and I had a different person, Harry Shaw, narrate that one. And that has no ratings. That came out in 2021. So it's going on almost 5 years. US of Apocalypse 3 came out in 2021. That was the last book me and Mark did on that series. Again, Sean Renette and Elizabeth Evans on that. Make Pretend, the complete short fiction of Armand Rosamilia. That's me. Ryan Hicks did that one, 2021. Short story collection. Jack DeGolia did Dirty Deeds 10. Jack DeGolia also did Shakedown, which is the first book in the First Coast Thriller series. Trapped was done by Severed Press, and Tom Taverna recorded that. I was in an anthology. G is for Genies. And the publisher, Bill Perry, they had like an A to Z of horror books. And so I'm in my story. One of my stories, one of my favorite stories actually, is in that one. In 2022, A Month of Duncan was narrated by Christopher Meglin. Jack DeGolia did Throwdown, which is the second book in the First Coast Thriller series. Ryan Hicks did the second short story collection, All Hell Breaks Loose. Jack DeGolia did book 3, book 4, book 5, and book 6 of First Coast Thriller series. That series is over. That last book came out in 2023. High on Bigfoot, a Severed Press book. Luke Welland, he did the narration on that. Jack DeGolia did Dirty Deeds 11 and 12. 11 came out in 2023. 12 came out in 24. St. John's River Monster, that came out from Severed Press, and John Pitacascio. I keep butchering names. Pitacascio narrated that one. Another Severed Press was Hidden Cave. That came out in 2024 by Kai Lenore. Also by Severed Press, The Lost Nazi Gold Train. Also Kai Lenore did that one. And then rounding it up, my last audiobook that I released was in November of 25. And that was Dying Days 9. And again, Amanda Lehman was back for the triumphant finale to that series. So I've had other books. I've had another 6-book series that I've done. I've done a bunch of different books with Tom Duffy. We're working on our 4th trilogy together. There are a lot of one-off books that I have not gotten onto audiobooks yet. And I want to. It's a matter of, honestly, it's a matter of money. You know, they're not cheap to do these. I like them. I have really good months and really bad months, and I try to keep track and go, okay, well, if I can make X number of dollars on audio sales every month, then I'll afford another one. And I had a run there during COVID where I sold a lot of audiobooks, and I got like, Jack DeGolia had like 5 or 6 books, basically all in a row that he did for me. So, so that's that. So that is literally, those are all of my audiobooks that I have out. So 71, it says. Feel free to buy them, especially if you are an Audible user. I know they do that all you can listen thing, like the kind of like the Kindle Unlimited thing. And a lot of my books, especially first books in series, a lot of those are part of that. So you can listen, you can basically listen to that and then go, okay, you know what? I like this, and I'm going to purchase some of the other copies. Some of them are as low as $6.95 each instead of, $14.95 or whatever. So jump in and listen. Give me a review would be nice. And also follow me here on YouTube. Follow me, hit the subscribe button. I would really, really appreciate it. If there's anything writing-wise or whatever that you want me to talk about here, questions, comments, concerns, whatever, feel free to leave a comment, or just find a way to email me, find a way to leave a comment somewhere. I'm all over the place. I would love to answer any and all questions. So thank you very much. I appreciate you hanging out with me today.